starting with your brand fans, right? Like who already likes you? Who already is talking about you? That is the first and foremost people you need to be capturing. I don't necessarily think an abundance of gifting. I think that getting product into those people's hands that are wearing you, that are already posting about you, that hopefully, have a decent following. They don't need to be the biggest influencers in the entire world. Like micro influencers are just as beneficial.
Explore the minds and marketing strategies behind today's winning brands and businesses. Tap into the power of the creator economy with Earned by CreatorIQ.
Hi, all. Welcome to Earned. I am so excited to be talking to Haley Kaliszewski. Let's start with just tell us a little bit about Kendra Scott, the brand, the business. Again, pretty recognizable brand globally now at this point, but definitely want to hear a little bit more about where you find your work home today.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are based in Austin, Texas. Kendra started the brand herself. She is a real person. We are asked that a ton. Kendra is a real person. She started the brand here in Austin in 2002. So we are in our 23rd year of business, which is really, really crazy and really cool that we've been in Austin the entire time.
So that is actually crazy. I'm going to age myself. I lived in Austin for about 11 years. I went to UT. And I remember when the first store opened.
On South Congress. Yeah.
On South Congress, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. I also remember, I don't remember it opening, but I also went to UT. And I remember going through sorority recruitment before my freshman year of college and seeing a girl wearing a pair of Kendra Scott earrings and being like, those are so cute. Where are those from? Had no idea what the brand was. This was 2013. So about 11 years into the brand. And I immediately called my mom and was like, Mom, I have to go to the store on South Congress. I have to buy these earrings. This is the only way that I'm going to be cool. All these things.
So again, started in Austin by Kendra with I think the story is fairly famous at this point with $500
in a dream
with a newborn. I love her story and she's such a charismatic and inspiring female leader. It has obviously grown into a massive $1 billion plus business. So talk a little bit about that evolution.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, like you said, we started in 2002 with $500 in a dream, and Kendra first started as a wholesale business. Really was the bread and butter of the business, and then after a little while there, opened that first store on South Congress. I don't know exactly the time frame of the years, but not too far into the business. Within the first 10 years, opened that store on South Congress, and again, only jewelry. And her philosophy of why she wanted to start the brand was having more affordable, high quality jewelry for women. She felt like it was a huge gap in the market. And I think that we can all agree it definitely was and sometimes can be. I know that a lot of my friends or whoever is like, we love and we aspire to these really expensive, fine jewelry, but you can't buy that on a regular basis. That's not a sustainable practice, hopefully for anyone. So she kind of found that gap in the market and really thought about who she was and what she wanted for the customer. So again, we're based in Austin. We're very Texas born and bred. So we do now have a little over 150 stores. And we launched our second ever brand a little over 2 years ago. It's called Yellow Rose by Kendra Scott. It's also has accessories and jewelry focused. It is a Western brand, so it's really fun to lean into our cowgirl side. Again,
true to your roots.
Texas. Yeah, it's really, really a fun journey. And we have opened 3 brick and mortars starting last November, all 3 in Texas, in now for Yellow Rose. So we have Austin, Dallas, and Houston. So just adding to that store count, which is really exciting. We still very much so are in the wholesale business at Nordstrom and Dillard's and lots of small boutiques across the country and other big major places as well. But Nordstrom has always been kind of our number one wholesale. I'm not fluent on the wholesale language anymore, but I do know that Nordstrom is definitely one of our big accounts. And that was our first when we started kind of the business. That was our big break, which is really cool.
I feel like in general, and especially being somebody who spent so much time in Austin specifically, I'm actually from Houston. I'm
from the Houston area as well.
Oh yeah. It's interesting. So as somebody who's from Texas, who spent a ton of time in Austin, this idea of exporting kind of Texas, Austin, Western culture, the rise of Yellowstone, all that, all of these things. What do you think is it feels like it's having a moment. Rodeo culture, country
100%.
music is back bigger than it's ever been before. What do you think is driving that, or what do you see in terms of the brand that's like really catching on?
Yeah, I think it is pop culture, like you said, the Yellowstone, the 1883, the 1923, the fact that Bella Hadid is now literally competing in cutting competitions, like the culture of Western, and like the girls are going to Aspen and going to Kimosabe. Like they want that feeling and that like homey Western, like, I don't want to say they're dressing up, but like it is a little bit of a dress up, right? When you're not in that culture just in general. But I do think with that quote unquote dress up, there are so many different iterations of it now, right? Like Tecovas, I think, is a great example too of like a brand that like is attainable in that world and like can be worn by the person going to work in their steel-toed, boots that they now sell with the work thing. And then the girl wearing a pair of fashion white high knee boots to, dinner on a Friday in New York City, which is really funny too. Like you said, like being based in Texas and growing up in Texas, like I was so used to doing all of that because my first ever concert was at the Houston Rodeo. Like I'm from a very small town. So like I'm used to dealing with that. I've always had a pair of boots. I've always, watching like women and anyone honestly, like have this Western trend catch on. I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of fun. Yeah. I like watching everyone do this. Like, I think that the trend started with the shows, right? And the pop culture and then everything, and then kind of just bled into normal attire. They're not dressing up anymore. It's just how they dress.
Yeah, I love the accessibility. It reminds me actually a lot of the brand. Like one of my kind of core memories of Kendra Scott has been how accessible the brand is to such a wide range of people, and not just in the price point, but in the types of people that are attracted to the brand, that can experience the brand. Like my mom wears Kendra Scott, my sister wears Kendra Scott, my aunts, my cousins, right? It's like, it becomes this experience. Like I remember going, it was always a birthday present, right? Like, let's go to the store on your birthday, which they used to, I'm sure you still do.
It's funny. I think that we have people I know that like come in just during their birthday month for their 50% off. So yeah, we do 50% off of a piece of fashion jewelry for your birthday month. And we've expanded that a little bit to getting 25% off of fine or demi-fine as well, if you would, or instead of the fashion, if that's what you would rather do. But it's also available at Yellow Rose as well. So it's really fun that we have continued that for as long as we have. It's a fun time.
For anyone who is looking to get started, so for a business or brand who wants to put, real energy, investment, and focus around an influencer program, what do you recommend as a starting point, and what is critical in terms of support?
Yeah. I think that from a starting point, getting it started is starting with your brand fans, right? Like who already likes you, who already is talking about you. I think that is the first and foremost people you need to be capturing. I don't necessarily think an abundance of gifting and like a huge gifting program is the right answer. That's a huge spend. I think that getting product into those people's hands that are wearing you, that are already posting about you, that hopefully, have a decent following. They don't need to be the biggest influencers in the entire world. Like micro influencers are just as beneficial. Like with TikTok right now, like day and age of TikTok, like I could post something and go viral. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be these people who have millions of followers and you have a huge spend to get a return on your investment. Starting small is a great way to do it, right? Like try, a paid partnership, one paid partnership for the first month, right? Like see how it goes. Okay, what did we like about that? What did we not like about that? Like, I also think that something I've learned in the last couple of years that I find would be beneficial for like someone really starting is find someone whose content you love, not just because of the way that their audience is responding to it, but also utilize it organically on your page, right? Like what's something you can reshare? How can you get the most bang for your buck in every capacity? And that's outside of any sort of paid usage, right? Like I'm talking pure organic, no extra money spent. And if it does great on your channel, maybe you do add on that paid usage of, a little bit of money to run it as an ad on TikTok or Meta or whatever it may be. But trying your best to get the bang for your buck on every level. I do think that like starting with brand fans makes the most sense of everyone. I know a lot of people are like, we need to get this on, Morgan Wallen or Taylor Swift. Okay, well, let's just realize that's not going to probably help anyone in any scenario. So start with the people that like you. It sounds so silly to say it because it's so simple, but like start with those people that like you. I also think, like I know I said it doesn't need to be a robust gifting, but also, this person seems like they would really like us. Let me just slide in their DMs like, hey, I would love to send you one piece of whatever it may be and see if they like you, right? Like let them wear it for a month and then kind of go from there. Like I think that catering to your audience, like, this influencer is friends with this influencer. Okay, they're probably very similar, but they like us. Let's see if they like us. So just that pipeline of people that like you is the best way to go about that.
The best advice is often the most simple, right? The best.
Like it's so simple for me to say that.
No, but it's true. And we do see that a lot. I think the other thing that I'm hearing from you is like, don't overthink it. Like,
don't overthink it.
Yeah. It's about building relationships. It's about understanding the people who are already kind of existing within your community, who already love your products, and then building out from there. Like, I love this idea of like furthering connections through the connections you already have.
100%. And I think that, like you said, what other like tools do you need to like get it started? And I obviously know we're talking on the CreatorIQ everything, but I do think a tracking tool is like one of the first things you should be investing in. I'm not saying investing in like the top tier of everything that's getting offered to you. You don't need that if you're not a huge brand. You don't need 7,000 spots for influencers, obviously. But like having some sort of tool that can show you your ROI on gifting, because not everyone you're gifting is going to be linking through an affiliate link or using the link you're sending to them. Like they could simply just be posting and tagging you on a story. Any sort of data that you can give yourself or leadership or whoever it may be, like, is helpful when you're thinking about what is successful and what to do next in the world.
I also think that finding a Haley is probably a non-negotiable. Like you need someone to own this program that can drive it and fuel it. Like it just sounds like obviously you have a ton of support available to you, but you're also very self-motivated, self-sustaining, and you're building this program from the inside out. So I have a 2-part question.
Yeah.
One is, what got you into influencer marketing in the first place? Like, what do you love about what you do? And the second part of that question is, what should hiring managers and leadership look for when they're trying to find people to work their influencer marketing programs?
So I have a very nonlinear career. I went to UT and studied textiles and apparel and with a focus in retail merchandising, and moved to New York City and worked in merchandising for a little over 2 years in the city. And then decided I want to move back to Texas. So I moved back to Texas and I joined Kendra Scott as a merchandise planner. So I was spreadsheet Sally for 3 years at Kendra. I had planned every single category at one point. I have done it all. Well, and I think that my product knowledge and my analytical side was so fine-tuned and has benefited me exponentially in every way of moving over to marketing. But during COVID, I was living alone and in spreadsheets every day. And I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Sally was sad.
Sally was so sad. And so I luckily, obviously, had been at the company for like 1.5 years before COVID started. And so I had worked in person with a lot of our marketing team. And so knew a decent amount of them and, continue to work cross-functionally through COVID as well, all virtually. And I one day was talking to my then manager, who is still on the planning team at Kendra, which is really fun when I get to run into him. And I was just like, I want to do something else. I'm drowning. I can't do this anymore. And he's like, okay, how can I support you? What can we do? Like, do you want me to set up meetings with like different departments? All of that. I was like, honestly, all I want to do is talk to our marketing team. He was like, go ahead, reach out. Like whoever you want to talk to, just email them. Very supportive, very great. Arthur Jacobs, love you. You're fantastic. Really appreciate the support. And that was a little over 3.5 years ago. And so I reached out to our now VP and I was just like, hey, what's available? Can I just chat with you? Like, I don't know what I want to do, but I don't want to be doing what I'm doing. I didn't want to leave the company. I thought that it was a good idea to stay internal and make a lateral move versus like try going somewhere else and starting from the beginning doing marketing. So I joined the marketing team, specifically just collegiate. So I did just gems. I want to say 6 to 8 months in, my coworker who was doing influencer left. And so I took on influencer as well. When I first moved over to marketing, I was just like, let me try anything, right? Like I will do anything in the entire world in marketing. I want to get my feet wet. I don't know what I want to do in marketing. Like I have no idea. Once I got in, I was like, okay, so I really love the influencer side of it. Cause it was like we treat our gyms program as micro influencers too.
Sure.
So like I got that taste of it. And then once she left, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I want to do that. So I think inherently also, I'm always online. I have been following influencers, and influencers were a thing. Before Instagram, I was watching, YouTubers. And I remember when Instagram first launched, we thought it was a photo editing app and we didn't even know it was social media. And I remember how we started following people and, girls that I went to college with. Like I literally was in college at the same time at UT as Danny Austin. And I don't know if you follow Lone Star Southern, Kate Bowden, or like literally these girls who are now these huge influencers, but like they were the cool girls during college, right? So I was like, oh, I want to be her. She's so cool. Like following her. Like I've always inherently loved the influencer world personally. And so it was just like a natural thing for me whenever I joined the social media team to be like, when we're talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I know all about, like literally just like joining the conversation already. So it was just like a natural inclination I already had. And then I do think that with an influencer role and with marketing in general, but specifically in something like this, being able to have that analytical product like background that I have, and then being able to be creative and know the world of social media and like fun and like ideas for a campaign or whatever it may be. I'm managing budget. I'm doing contracts. I'm negotiating. Like I have to have that like analytical side as well as that creative, like fun side, like posting events. So like having both of those has only been beneficial for me. Yeah. So I do think like when recruiting, it can't just be creative in a role like this. You have to have that like business mindset as well.
I've always described it as kind of like an art and a science. I think marketing in general is like that, but that's what I love about what I do and where I sit, because we work similarly. Like we work with brands who are inherently creative and contextual and like are speaking to consumers in these brilliant stories that they tell. And we're also B2B SaaS. And so it's like we have so much data. Data storytelling is hugely important. Repeatable models, right? Like all of these like two different sides of the brain coming together. And I find that really exciting. I love the nod to when you're thinking about hiring somebody in, kind of make sure they can structure and also be open to taking it as it comes or trying new things. Like that's the other thing I'm hearing from you is very much like you are very open to experience. It's how you stepped into your role in the first place. And I love the idea of like a generalist approach. But again, somebody who can put structure to that, who can understand the data to make informed decisions, and then go out and build the relationships and the experiences that make it all work.
No, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I think that we also, because we are a lean, mean team, we act fast, right? So when someone's like, we need to do that, we need to add this for this month. Okay, well, let's jump in and do it. So having that ability to do that, and then having that structure of like, okay, Valentine's coming up, let's pre-plan and whatever it may be, but you have to be able to do it all. Do it all. Just do everything,
Just do everything.
Just do it all.
Looking at the next, year plus for your role, your program, and the brand as a whole, what are your hopes and dreams? What are you hoping to accomplish in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I think that every year it's like the world is our oyster, right? Like when we go into it, I'm obviously, with Mother's Day coming up, that's kind of just top of mind for me right now, just in general. It's a huge holiday for us. We are a 90% women company, which is really, really cool. What's next, I guess, is really exciting. We have a few collaboration collections this year that it's really fun. We have some really awesome product that I've seen for summer, which is really beautiful. And then Kendra's always thinking of something fun. New categories, I'm sure.
I mean, it sounds like that has been true of the brand and the business from day one. So it's kind of built into who you are. You mentioned the 3 pillars. We've talked a ton about family. I'd actually even say your experience, having that open conversation with your manager and them being so supportive of you finding like a new path within the company, like that feels very within that. We talked a ton about fashion and just what drives the brand. I want to talk a little bit about philanthropy. How do you define that pillar, and what are the ways Kendra Scott engages with the community in a philanthropic way?
Oh gosh, it's never ending, which is really, really cool. We actually have a full philanthropy team. I want to say there are 5 people on it now, and they live and breathe Kendra Scott philanthropy every single day, which is really cool. This past year, we launched the Kendra Scott Foundation. So with that, we are really focusing on women's and children's causes. And then obviously with October is a huge month for us every year with Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we also have a partnership with Inheritance of Hope. This is one of our biggest philanthropy pushes every year. We actually just had the Legacy Retreat 2 weeks ago. We sponsor an entire Legacy Retreat every single year for families who are going through metastatic cancer. Kind of is just like a fun week for the entire family to just forget about what's happening in life. And it's like 5 or 6 families. I could be misquoting the number, but I know it's a decent amount of families that they go and just have fun. And our entire month of October really gives back to that. We have always on give back product that is now going all back to the Kendra Scott Foundation. And like I said, all of the different causes, it's not just, these specific ones throughout the year where it's like we're stating exactly what it's going to, but year long we're doing a sports give back. We just launched a pre-order for an ice skating pendant. We're always giving back. And then one really cool thing that is actually available to quite literally anyone that wants to do it is our Kendra Gives Back program. So at any of our stores or online, you can connect with us to do a give back. So 20% of the proceeds during the give back, or either it's being a code online or in the store during a certain time period on a certain day, gives back to any philanthropy of your choice. Customers can come in and do it. Influencers can go in and do it. People that work for the company can do it if they have something they want to do it for. Our regional marketing team, we have boots on the ground in every single market in the US, and they run with such amazing events, including Kendra Gives Back. And they come up with, their own, and then they recruit people to join them for the give back. It might not be someone walking in and saying, I want to do this. And we have thousands and thousands and thousands of events every single year, and we give back an insane amount of money every single year to amazing causes that are, I think, kind of tied back to that family, right? Where it's like our customer is part of our family and it's giving back to causes they care about. And then we also have our Kendra Scott Women's Entrepreneurship Leadership Institute. It's a mouthful. We call it KSWELI at UT. It launched 2019. Kendra is a professor for one of the classes. Every semester, there are 2 classes that students apply for. And then one of these is a design class, and they are tasked with doing that. And then there's a winner that people vote on. Anyone can vote, actually. It's on our social media. They can always go and vote when it's happening. And that piece of product is actually produced the following year. And then that actually goes back to KSWELI, the proceeds from there. So it's a huge full picture of everything we always have going on and different initiatives at all time. I wish I knew all the numbers because they're incredibly impressive. I do not know them off the top of my head. It blows me away though, because I feel like every year they just get bigger and bigger.
The pillars are lived like through and through in the way you work, in the way you build the company, and the way you connect with your customers, with your community, and the plans for, the continued growth ahead. As a, Texan to a Texan, I feel like, go big on the things.
No, it's awesome. And one really cool thing too is that as employees, we get 2 days a year for philanthropy days. So those aren't counted toward your PTO or whatever it may be. They're truly just go and volunteer, like do it at least twice during the year. But we are given that opportunity to have that time to go and do it, which is really fun.
I love that. Okay, maybe one last question. We talked about your hopes and dreams for the business. Mm-hmm. I asked this, and this is something that I would ask myself as well. And I'm like quite a few years ahead of you in my career. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I love that. That's a good question. I feel like I have 2 routes that I would go. One, I would love to own a bakery. I love baking. I love the idea of that. But I also love the idea of owning a floral business, but not doing weddings because I have no desire to do events and things like that on weekends. No, thank you. I love doing that too. So like, I don't know, how can I marry those 2? Like in an ideal world where nothing matters, that's what I would be doing.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you sharing insights about the brand. And again, just about your role and how you've really grown this program from the inside out. It's really fun to hear again, kind of from start to finish what it takes to pull off a program like this. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Loved chatting with you.
Be a friend, tell a friend, and subscribe. Earned by CreatorIQ. CreatorIQ is your all-in-one solution to grow, manage, scale, and measure your influencer marketing program. Ready to unlock the power of the creator economy? Get started with a demo today at CreatorIQ.com.